Good morning. We are back at our greenhouse again today with another little talk on this time, how to mount orchids. We've already seen the previous video where it shows you how to repot them. Today we're going to learn how to mount them, and this basically works the same way when you mount them on a tree, whether you mount them on a piece of wood or anything you wish to mount it on. As I previously indicated, the most important thing we need to do is make sure that we remember to always wear gloves.
Why is that so important?
Because these plants are treated with things that you may be allergic to. They're not necessarily chemical components that you may be allergic to, but some people are allergic to natural things. So to avoid any problems with allergies, it's easier and less expensive to wear gloves than it is to have to endure treatments for allergies and the medical costs involved. So this is always the first step in dealing with any of these plants, be it something that is grown in a natural environment or if they're chemically treated. Regardless of the way, an allergic reaction is an allergic reaction, so you want to avoid that. And the best way to avoid that is by wearing gloves.
And those are just regular latex gloves, right?
They're regular latex gloves. I happen to like this color. They come in all colors, so it's just a matter of preference, just so long as you wear a pair of gloves. And these are easier to work with because of the way they fit. The household gloves are too big and they become cumbersome when you're trying to work. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to prepare the actual plant that we're going to be mounting. And when we prepare them, as you would with a regular plant that you're going to be repotting, you want to get rid of excess roots. And these tools have already been sterilized with heat. For the sake of time, we've done that prior to the actual filming so that it saves in the interest of time. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut off the excess roots. They're basically dried up roots that just take up space, and at the end of the day, it's like hair. They'll grow back, so that's why it doesn't really hurt.
How do you measure where you decide to cut?
I basically just make a fist at the base of the plant, and anything that comes out from under the plant, from under my fist, I cut it, and that's a good rule of thumb. It will always grow.
Should they look a certain way, or
No,
you just
just cut
from wherever from the bottom of your fist?
When you make your fist at the bottom, cut it out. And in this case, I'm going to ball it up because I'm going to mount it. But when you're repotting, it really doesn't matter where they land. The next thing I'm going to do is, in preparation for the actual mounting,
What kind of orchid is this?
This happens to be a Laelia cattleya, but the technique is basically the same for all of them. Right now I'm spraying it with just undiluted regular rubbing alcohol, and the reason I'm doing this is to make sure that any bugs or pests that may be in the plant are killed. The alcohol will kill it on contact, and because it's a drying agent, it'll dry soon and it won't harm the plant at all. Your old toothbrush that you get rid of normally after you're finished with it at home works perfect to do this. So you're actually recycling your old toothbrush.
So first you douse it with alcohol.
Yes.
And then the toothbrush is used to
pull back all the sheathing that's on the plant so that any bugs or anything that may be hiding in there, they usually hide in those areas to protect themselves from the elements and then come out when it's time to eat.
So you're taking off all the dry, all the dry areas from
all this sheathing is coming off to prevent any bugs from hiding in there to later come out and
I noticed you put alcohol on the leaves. Did you do it on this area here that
the
you
roots,
were holding?
No, the roots don't need it.
So you don't put alcohol on the roots?
No, because when you get it out of wherever it is that you have it on, or wherever you dismount it to remount somewhere else, you're going to clean up all the old medium that's in the roots. So any bugs that may have been hiding there, you've already removed.
Okay.
By taking out the medium. So this is now basically nice and clean. And if you notice, at first, when we first doused it with alcohol, it was wet. Parts of it have already dried up, so you don't need to worry about the alcohol.
Is this something to worry about?
No, that was just burned.
Okay.
It sat in the sun for a couple of days, and it burnt. These plants need bright light, but not full sun. And if they end up in full sun for a period of time, they end up getting burned. But it really hasn't harmed the plant in any way. And as you can see, there's new growths coming out. You have new little growth here that have the appearance of thumbnails. These are actually going to grow up into a bulb or a pseudobulb, and in time have a bloom on it, because it will not bloom from the old bulbs. So, okay, so now
What was that you just took out? You
these
took
were
out something from down here.
these were just excess roots and medium
Dry roots, you
and
just
medium.
yank them out?
Yeah, this was originally mounted somewhere, so it has a piece of a pantyhose that was used. You can always use that. Another material that you can use to mount is pantyhose. In this particular case, I'm using plastic-lined wiring, but you can use pantyhose, and it's actually better if you're mounting it on a tree, because that way it will not harm the tree when you mount it on there. And in time, because it's being exposed to the elements, the pantyhose will wear off and come off. I'm looking here for